Hello and a very warm welcome to this special online 10th anniversary edition of the EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards 2021. I so miss not being together with you in Brussels this year. This event really has become one of the highlights of my calendar, mainly because of the desserts, if I'm honest. But hey, the best alternative is for me to welcome you to my home here in London this evening. There are advantages of being fully online, such as opening up to a much bigger audience. Over 800 people have registered to be with us here today. You're probably connecting from your own homes right now, so be honest. How many of you are actually wearing shoes? There's mine. We all know. In fact, it's really good that I've got a snazzy bottom half on, but I'm not quite making it to shoes. I've made myself very comfortable. But I'd quite like to see what you're wearing today. And are you wearing your Rare Disease Day colours, or are you wearing slippers like me? I'm sure some of you are. You can take some photos this evening, like I did yesterday, using our special photo booth frames. I'm laughing because I did have quite a bit of fun with this yesterday. You can find these underneath the streaming window. Do share them on your social media using the hashtag, don't forget the hashtag, EURORDIS Awards 2021. I look forward to seeing all those photos later. Let's also try to connect our special community through the incredible stories we'll be hearing today. Our outstanding awardees deserve this special moment of celebration for their achievements for the rare disease community. But first, I want to hear from you. So please type in your first name and the country where you're connecting from. Pop that in the chat box on your screen so that I can give you a few shout-outs as we go along. This new online format is not the only difference for this year's edition. We also have 4 awards that have been voted by you. Thank you so much for voting, and we've received a tremendous response, more than 30,000 votes altogether. Stay tuned to discover who will be the recipients of the Young Patient Advocate Award, the Written Media Award, the Visual and Audio Media Award, and of course, the Photo Award. I always love that one. Now, if you haven't yet voted, you can still vote for the next 10 minutes. So make sure you do that. If you click on the See the Finalist button, you'll see that under the streaming window, you can get voting. The recipients of the Volunteer and Lifetime Achievement Awards have been kept a secret. So stay tuned to discover who will receive these awards live today. The impact of winning an award is significant for the recipient and shouldn't be underestimated. As a Crohn's disease patient and campaigner myself, I know this only too well. Quite simply, awards open doors. Our winners tonight don't just win an award. They win awareness raising. They win campaigning power. They win respect amongst their peers. And it may even give them a seat at the table of collaboration. So very, very big thanks to EURORDIS for all that you do for this community. For this special anniversary edition, we'll also have not just one, but two exceptional performers with us this evening. More on that later. So let's see who's joining us tonight. Wow, there's quite a lot of you putting your names up. We've got Maria from Hungary, Kim from Nepal, hi, Dina from Portugal, Ulrike from Austria, Andrea from Spain, Milena from Serbia. My goodness, you're from all over the place. This is fantastic. We've got Lisen from Norway, Lutz from Switzerland, Alessandra from Italy, Noel from Germany, Marie from France, and Diane from California. Wow, we are going far and wide tonight. This is fantastic. Keep bringing those in and keep commenting as the evening goes on, and I'll try to get back to you as much as possible. Which reminds me, at the end of the ceremony, do stay online with us as we gather for an informal networking moment to get to know each other a little better, and we get a chance to meet the awardees. So let's get started. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the Vice President of EURORDIS Rare Diseases Europe and Chief Executive Officer of Retina International. Delivering our opening greeting, please give a warm welcome to Avril Daly. Good evening, Avril. How are you today?
I'm great, Carrie. How are you doing yourself?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Take it away.
Well, you're looking resplendent in red this evening, so it's lovely to see you. But unfortunately, everyone, on behalf of EURORDIS, I would really like to extend to you a very, very warm welcome wherever you are joining us from this evening. And as Carrie read out, so many places all over the world for our 10th annual Black Pearl Awards ceremony. It's really, really great to have you. What can I say? I'm sitting here in a room with my dresses that I would normally wear hanging behind me because they're the rare disease colours. So I wonder what all of you are wearing. Are you dressed in your rare disease colours this evening? Well, I suppose we're not where we expected to be. We are not gathered together in Brussels as we normally would be to recognise and to honour those whose outstanding achievements in the field of rare diseases have amplified our voices, united us around a common goal, and who have worked to discover and innovate the care, the technologies, and the therapies that can change the lives and the policies that enable those to take place. Just because we cannot be here together tonight does not mean that we cannot go on. The show must always go on. Technology allows us all to be together and to celebrate Rare Disease Day as we should. Technology has continued to play a huge part in the development of this community over the decades, and indeed the rare disease community are often the very first adopters of new technologies and new methods of communication across borders and barriers, be they cultural or linguistic, uniting us and informing us. And adaptation is nothing new. And so if any of this community can find a way to carry on, we will find a way to carry on. Tonight, we cannot ignore the reality of COVID-19, this pandemic and its impact on our world, on our community, on our families, on our day-to-day lives. It's really been enormous. It has not spared our rare disease community either. However, many of you have tuned in this evening and you know what it's like to be forced to cope with a new reality a very unexpected one, such a challenge is not really new to this community, really, is it? It's not new to this audience at all. We know through the Rare Barometer Voices studies that the challenges it has brought to the people living with rare diseases have been enormous for not only them, for their families, and those who deliver their care as well. 83% of rare disease patients' care has been disrupted. 6 in 10 found that the interruptions to care were detrimental to their health or the health of the person that they care for. 3 in 10 perceive that these interruptions, to their care are probably or definitely life-threatening. The study also highlighted that the steps taken to keep contact between patients and healthcare providers, have been really, really great. Many have had the opportunity to go online or have telephone consultations, with actually telephone being favored by patients as a way to keep connection. And maybe that's because, not everybody has access to the technologies, do they? And some people don't have access to great broadband. So patients really appreciated the opportunity to have those telephone calls. And in fact, some patients received consultations in their cars where they didn't have to get out and go into the hospital environment. So, creativity and ingenuity has always been a factor in this community. And it is clear that COVID-19 did not hinder this. And the Rare Barometer Voices also provided some very interesting observations that could be applied to a post-COVID world, leading to greater efficiencies in the delivery of care, the chance now to work together to build back better, and to really focus on how we can work to move forward. And we continue to move forward at a pace. The Rare 2030 recommendations were presented yesterday with an online audience of almost 1,000 people. So that's truly a multi-stakeholder process. That foresight study will inform the basis of the policy priorities for the field of rare diseases into the future. So we are calling for an updated, refreshed policy framework for rare diseases in Europe to guide the implementation of national plans for rare diseases with the same measurable objectives, bring together a refreshed, concerted strategy across research, digital, healthcare, social welfare, complementing existing legislations, and encourage continued investment in the field of rare diseases at both the European and the national levels to ensure that we do not lose that momentum. Our community is growing and it is evolving. And while there has been much success, there is still so much more to do. The engagement of our young people, our young citizens through this foresight study has been a hugely encouraging development. And personally, I have to say, I find their involvement so stimulating, so engaging, and highly encouraging to me in my job. It's just wonderful to see all of you being so engaged. These are confident and accomplished young persons, giving us all the hope that the rare disease community can carry on with clear consensus-driven objectives, that they will continue to be a public health priority and a highly innovative space, because these young citizens will make this happen. They have the words and will find a way. While we are not all in the same room together, dressed up as we would like to be, I think the last time I was dressed up was this time last year. It's good that we have, a sense of joy. It's really good to encourage that it's still there. And that sense of joy is so important in this community. It is joyful when we meet. I know from my own experience of meeting all of you, we learn so much from each other and we gain so much from each other. But it's also not with just a little emotion that we can't be here, that we can't all be together. But I know that the rare disease community is as close as we are allowed to be. The National Alliance are here, the federations are here, our disease-specific national patient organizations are here, large and small, old and new members, our friends from Rare Disease International and our friends from the global rare disease community are here from us, from everywhere, as Carrie mentioned, as far away as California. So we'll also have our members of the European reference networks who support the work that we do, the researchers, the clinicians, the innovators, the industry representatives and the policymakers, all of the people that we work with to make sure that we get to our end goal. So thank you for being here tonight to acknowledge our peers and our colleagues in the way that they deserve to be acknowledged. The rare disease community represents really true collaboration, solidarity, creativity, and above all, perseverance. And I'm just thinking, we've landed on Mars with a spaceship, because I'm not technical, to me it's a spaceship called Perseverance. And perseverance is a word that the rare disease community use all of the time. I feel we should really have branded it with our rare disease logos and colors, because if anything we can persevere, and we will do. And we will be together again, hopefully next year, where we can celebrate a real moment of joy and a real step forward together. So thank you for being with us. We really look forward to being together again soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie.
Oh, Avril, thank you so much for that. Such an inspiring speech. I think the last time I went to an event, I was with you, and it was this time last year, wasn't it? Yeah.
You know, Carrie, I found my card tonight. I've just by chance, I found my seating card for the Black Pearl Gala in my little sparkly handbag. And I said, oh, look.
I hope you put it on your chair before you did your speech. So
I have it in front of me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Avril. And I just want to, pick up on her saying, a meeting online with 1,000, was it 1,000 people?
1,000 people, yes.
So even though we are separate and we feel this isolation, breakthrough is just ahead. Breakthrough is coming. We are still managing somehow to put this stuff together. Now, also just to mention, if you'd like subtitles this evening, there's an orange button on your screen there. You press the orange button and you'll get the subtitles. We've got some messages coming through, so let's have a little look at who's been messaging in. Roberts, wow, from San Francisco. Lola from Spain. I'm starting to cry after Avril's speech. I've just realised I always bring my tissues for these awards, and I didn't this year, so I must just go and get some. Mark from New Hampshire in the US. Claudia from Germany. And there's a message from Russell here saying, heartfelt congratulations to all of the awardees, both those known and those yet to be revealed, because of course some of them are still secret. I love this message. Coralie is not wearing shoes either. Well done, Coralie. You are a woman after my own heart. And then finally on the messages, Julia is connected from Verona in Italy. And I think she's supporting one of our ones that we're voting on. So yes, fantastic. She's supporting Raquel for Young Patient Advocate. That's who she'll be voting for. The voting is probably over now, but we will find out who has won those awards. So, to mark this special anniversary edition, we've looked back at the impact this event has had on the rare disease community over the past decade, not only through the funds raised, but also through the extraordinary work and dedication of our award winners. Let's take a look.
EURORDIS' mission is to work across borders and diseases to improve the lives of people living with a rare disease. We connect, empower, engage and advocate for the 30 million people living with a rare disease in Europe. And this is the 10th EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards, honoring the organizations and individuals that are building a better future for people living with a rare disease, celebrating advancements and recognizing success.
We all know that what is big success when it is very rare. And rare diseases, in name of rare disease, you see success.
10 years of the EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards, spearheaded by the achievement of 110 incredible awardees from 26 countries and the dedication of 1,933 nominees. With over €2.5 million raised in proceeds to support the rare disease community, we have increased public awareness and amplified the patient voice, empowering the leaders of rare disease communities.
EURORDIS has ensured that patient voice is now heard both in committees, in workshops, in presentations, and ensured that we are also involved in the whole scientific process, because it has given us confidence to become involved at a level that we would never have been before. And not only that, EURORDIS's reach has now moved to global affairs, and its involvement as well within the United Nations. So all of those things have ensured that within the last 10 years, the rare disease voice has really been heard through rare disease patients.
4 years ago, my organization received the Black Pearl Award to the best organization in Europe. This award was an amazing achievement for our organization, because the award gave to us the visibility and the interest and attention from researchers, physicians, and the industry.
Without an exception, recipients of EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards have contributed to a better future for those living with a rare disease. Over the last 10 years, the awards have evolved from a nice gesture of appreciation to something awardees put in their CV and are extremely proud of. By organizing and giving these awards, EURORDIS is inspiring leaders and driving excellence from all stakeholders.
This award is for all the people that help us since many years. They said that there was no hope, but they were wrong, and many people help us, and now there are many researchers around the world.
I think that each time EURORDIS puts a patient advocate on this stage, you're actually awarding the success of your vision. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think that's amazing. Thank you.
What a remarkable legacy of impact this event has had over the past 10 years. And today, each of us has the opportunity to help sustain that legacy with our personal support. We invite you now to click on the pink donate button underneath the stream and make a donation in support of EURORDIS's critical work for the rare disease community. At last year's Black Pearl Awards, attendees donated a phenomenal €18,000, which allowed us to launch a new programme of patient advocacy and empowerment called Rare Disease Week. We'll have an opportunity to learn more about Rare Disease Week later this evening, but you can already show your support by making a donation at any point during today's event, so do make sure you press that pink button. I'll be providing periodic updates on our progress, and thank you so much in advance for your consideration and generosity. Now let's move to this year's awardees. Our first award this evening is the EURORDIS Members Award, which is being given to an exceptional patient organisation that, after dedicating 17 years to advocacy and research in the rare disease field, has achieved some groundbreaking results, such as Develop a Cure and Patient-Centric Leadership, the AKU Society. I'm delighted to welcome live Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Trustees of the AKU Society, Nick Ciro. His exceptional work, determination, and contributions as an individual have been outstanding. Thanks to his and the AKU Society's action, a life-changing treatment, nitisinone, is now available to patients in Europe. Welcome, Nick, and congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much, Kerry. It's an absolute honour to be receiving this. And I just wanted to pass on a few thanks, really, on behalf of the AKU Society, but also a few thanks to some crucial people who've helped us along the way. The first two are Professor Ranganathan and Professor Jim Gallagher from Liverpool Hospital and from the University of Liverpool, who are absolute heroes for me and have been there since the absolute beginning. Then, as you mentioned, the Develop a Cure Consortium. This is the group of organisations that really developed nitisinone for AKU. All the AKU patients who participated, the AKU Society team, that's Kieran, Leslie and Juliet for all their hard work. Sobi, the company, for partnering with us. They're a brilliant company. And then the European Commission for providing the funds through FP7 and for granting marketing authorization. And finally to EURORDIS, because they advised us, they supported us, and they helped us all along the way. Thank you.
That is just fantastic. Lots of thanks there from Nick. So when did you join the organisation, and what has been driving you throughout all these years?
Yeah, so AKU is an ultra-rare genetic disease. It was actually the first disease ever to be shown to be genetic more than 100 years ago. Wow. It's called black bone disease because the bones and the cartilage go black and brittle as life progresses. And both my children, both my boys were diagnosed with AKU shortly after birth, around 20 and 17 years ago. And that's what drove me to get so involved with Ranga and Jim in Liverpool and the AKU team. And it's also working with all the AKU patients around the world. They really do suffer, from isolation, from marginalization, from pain, from chronic illness. And then there was the fact that we had this drug nitisinone, which was so promising, but we just had to prove it. And I think at the really core of it all is a feeling of injustice, which I think is what drives us all in the rare disease community, is that it's not because a disease is rare that it should be abandoned. And that's why I'm so happy to be part of the rare disease community and really trying to make a difference.
Thank you, Nick. Now, we have a short video explaining what alkaptonura is and its consequences on the body. It's by Professor Lakshmina Rayan Ranganath, one of the founders and a trustee of the AKU Society.
Alkaptonuria is a rare disease where there's a lack of an enzyme called homogentic acid dioxygenase. The lack of this enzyme means they can't break down tyrosine fully. If they can't break it down, it then accumulates in the body, causing change in color, including the urine, including the joints. It also leads to premature arthritis, mainly affecting the spine and the large joints. They also have aortic valve disease and lots of health conditions, so it's a devastating disease for patients from the age of 25 onwards, even though they're born with the condition.
That is truly amazing, and thanks to the AKU Society, we now have a treatment for AKU patients throughout Europe. So, Nick, what are the future products? What does the future hold?
Yeah, so, we're absolutely delighted that we've got nitisinone approved for AKU. But that's for Europe, and there are patients all around the world. And our mission now is to try and make nitisinone available to AKU patients wherever they are. And we're going to be speaking to a lot of people about this over the coming year, And the second thing is that nitisinone is a great therapy, but it's not a cure. Okay. And so our vision for the next 10 years is to develop a gene therapy as an ultimate cure for AKU. So that's going to take time, but we've already started fundraising for that, and we're very hopeful about achieving it. Thank you.
Your enthusiasm is contagious. Thank you and congratulations. Let's now discover who the second award of the night will go to. It's my pleasure to announce that this year's EURORDIS Volunteers Award goes to Ingen Westerheim and Rebecca T. Skarberg, who have prepared this nice introductory video for us.
Congratulations on the award, my friend. I can hardly believe how we ended up here.
Yeah, congratulations. Do you remember how it all started in summer camp when we were 11?
I do. And not long after that, we were licking stamps for the OI organization.
Yeah, and 5 years after that, we ended up running the whole organization somehow.
It was crazy. It was all a mix of studying, of partying, and a lot of volunteer work. But it was good times.
Yeah, I guess you can say that what started out as a friendship developed into something bigger, like a feeling of wanting to make a difference for the larger community.
I think you're right. So, cheers to the passion for OI and to our next chapter.
Cheers.
Don't you just love the way that they're drinking their champagne? Absolutely wonderful. Congratulations to Ingen and Rebecca, and I'm pleased to welcome them both now live as they tell us a little bit more about their projects.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's really an honor to receive this award together with you, Rebecca. I can hardly think of anyone who has been so involved in volunteer work for rare diseases as you. ERN Bond, Eurobone Registry, Rare 2030, and so many activities connected to disability and rare disease advocacy in Norway and other countries. For you, what was the most meaningful or even challenging?
Well, I feel it's hard to just select one because although being different kinds of efforts, they have been equally as important in their own ways. They are also carefully intertwined. Without being engaged in advocacy in Norway, I would never have been inspired to help develop ERN Bond or even dream of being a part of the Rare 2030 project. Ingunn, you have also done so much in developing both the Norwegian and the European OI organization for so many years. In addition, you have promoted patient involvement and developed valuable connections within the rare bone community. What has been most meaningful and challenging for you?
Well, I think the most challenging was hosting the Scientific OI conference in 2017. It definitely cost me some sleepless nights, but I felt it was kind of a personal victory when 250 participants from 40 countries left Oslo with smiles on their faces. I think it was a good example that collaboration between OI organizations and professionals can really work if one respects each other's expertise. Another great challenge was taking on the management of OIFE, a mix of madness and motivation, I would say. To lead a federation with 36 organizations as a volunteer is interesting, inspiring, and sometimes quite scary. My goal for the future is a stronger and more visible umbrella organization, who people will turn to as the voice of people with OI. Hopefully, we will have more volunteers and some paid staff, and with their help, we will succeed in securing access to new treatments for OI. And I'm quite hopeful because so much is happening in OI research at the moment, and the opportunities are many. Time is the critical factor. So what are your hopes and goals, Rebecca?
Well, I want to continue my work to strengthen the initiatives that I'm already involved in, because these are still very frail structures. We need to engage more people, especially younger people, in the important issues of improving the quality of life for people with OI. And this aligns nicely with the goals of ERN Bond and the Eurobone Registry, but also looking at the bigger pictures with the recommendations of Rare 2030. We can't slow down yet, Ingunn. We need to spread our passion for OI. If people have that, then the sky is the limit.
I totally agree. And let's share this award with Rob, Ute, Taco, and all the other volunteers with a passion for OI.
Exactly. Cheers.
Congratulations, guys. You should be given your own TV show. You were fantastic, so entertaining. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to Ingunn and Rebecca. We've got some messages coming in here. Wow, there's loads. Okay, Russell says, congratulations, Nick, that's our previous winner, on behalf of all rare disease patients who stand on your shoulders and following your example, realise never to give up. Yeah, absolutely, never give up. Magdalena says, hello from FH Europe. Good luck, Thanos. Oleg is saying hello from Georgia. Heraclio is saying hello from Mexico. Wow. Adrienne, one of the Young Patient Advocates finalists, is writing, hello from Poland. Thank you for all the votes in the hashtag Young Patient Advocate category. Matt says, hi everyone. Excited to be taking part in the Black Pearl Gala. It's wonderful to be connected, even if we can't physically be together at this time. Thanks for that, Matt. Fantastic. Oh, there's more coming in. Simone says, Ingunn and Rebecca, you are fantastic. I think we all agree on that. Flaminia says, you are amazing, Ingunn and Rebecca. Charlene says, congratulations, Rebecca and Ingunn. You are both so amazing and inspire me every time I hear you speak. Thanks for all you do. What lovely, lovely messages. Now, since the very first edition in 2012, the EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards have been supported by a number of distinguished honorary chairs, representing the highest echelons of European and national institutions. It's a great honour and rare privilege to announce this year's honorary chair, President of the European Parliament, Mr. David Maria Sassoli. Let's hear his message of support for the rare disease community.
Buongiorno a tutti, benvenuti, sono contento di partecipare al Black Pearl Awards, un evento così importante che ci permette di riconoscere e apprezzare i grandi risultati di tutti coloro che fanno la differenza per le persone che vivono con una malattia rara in Europa. Fin dall'inizio ho sempre sostenuto quanto sia importante rendere la nostra Unione più inclusiva, vicina a tutti i cittadini, lo abbiamo ripetuto tante volte, soprattutto in questi mesi, nessuno deve essere lasciato indietro e il vostro lavoro è fondamentale per costruire una società fondata su questo principio fondamentale. Questo è un impegno che credo seriamente, perché credo fermamente nel valore aggiunto che l'Unione Europea gioca nel campo delle malattie rare. La crisi del Covid che si è abbattuta improvvisamente sulle nostre società ha messo in evidenza le nostre fragilità, ha dimostrato che nessuno può farcela da solo, che abbiamo bisogno degli altri, che nessun paese è autosufficiente e che quindi il coordinamento e il sostegno dell'Unione Europea sono necessari in tanti ambiti. Spesso le risorse e il ruolo dell'Unione in campo sanitario non sono all'altezza delle sfide che dobbiamo affrontare, ma non dobbiamo arrenderci. Vogliamo un'Europa più forte che difenda meglio la sanità e il valore della vita. Questa giornata dimostra la necessità di continuare a guardare avanti, di lavorare, di non bloccarsi davanti agli ostacoli. Oggi siamo qui per celebrare il successo, il lavoro dei tanti volontari, di tanti medici che lavorano in questa direzione e di tutti coloro che contribuiscono all'analisi di nuovi trattamenti, che si dedicano alla ricerca, al consolidamento di tecnologie innovative. Oggi siamo qui anche per riconoscere gli enormi passi in avanti che sono stati fatti nel campo delle malattie rare, prima quasi invisibili nei nostri sistemi sanitari e di assistenza, oggi invece riconosciuti come una priorità per la salute pubblica, i diritti umani di ciascun cittadino. In questi decenni il duro lavoro in questa direzione ha permesso alle malattie rare di godere di una rinnovata visibilità e di una nuova attenzione nello scenario europeo, potendo beneficiare di nuovi investimenti, di trattamenti all'avanguardia, nuove conoscenze. L'importanza della scienza è indiscutibile, ma non dobbiamo dimenticare il lato emotivo, umano, ovvero la speranza che questa comunità e questi trattamenti hanno portato a milioni di persone in tutta Europa. Ecco ancora una volta l'importanza della collaborazione, della solidarietà, di un'azione coordinata a livello europeo che ha supportato e ridato fiducia e migliorato la vita di 30 milioni di persone affette da malattie rare. So che non è facile e che la strada è ancora in salita, le sfide sono enormi, per questo dobbiamo impegnarci per fare di più. Il RARE 2030 Foresight Study raccomanda l'attuazione di un nuovo quadro politico per le malattie rare entro il 2023, che includa maggiori garanzie e raccomandazioni a livello di trattamenti, ricerche, diagnosi. Per queste ragioni il Parlamento europeo ha avviato il RARE 2030 Foresight come progetto pilota, cofinanziato dalla Commissione europea e che prevede la partecipazione di molti di voi. Voi siete gli attori che hanno reso possibile tutto questo. La pandemia ci ha dimostrato quanto siamo fragili e quanto siano esposti i nostri sistemi sanitari, ancora di più per i gruppi di persone più vulnerabili. Ora più che mai dobbiamo essere sicuri che le azioni, le politiche siano adatte alle sfide di domani. Per raggiungere questo obiettivo abbiamo bisogno della vostra partecipazione, di una voce collettiva da ogni angolo dell'Europa. Il Parlamento europeo vi supporterà in questa sfida e si impegnerà a trasformarla in realtà. Grazie a tutti, buon lavoro e speriamo naturalmente, Covid permettendo, di poterci anche presto incontrare di persona.
Thank you. Now, luckily, Mr. Sassoli is not alone at the European Parliament in supporting the rare disease community. During the past years, we've had a series of politicians very much engaged in our cause, and amongst them is the recipient of the EURORDIS Policymaker Award 2021. She's being honoured today for her dedication and the very real difference she's making for the rare disease community. In her role as a member of the European Parliament, she's shown incredible leadership and excellence in championing the rare disease cause in Europe. She's participated in the network of parliamentary advocates for rare diseases, supported new rare disease policies and patient engagement in health technology assessment, whilst advocating for better access to treatment and care for all patients across Europe. The truly deserving recipient of this year's Policymaker Award is Katarina Konechna. Please join me in listening to her inspiring acceptance speech.
The official Rare Diseases Day 2021 video was ending with the words, "We are proud." I'm glad that not only today, I can say I'm very proud too. Proud of you. Proud that you, your families, your doctors, nurses, caregivers, researchers don't give up. Because your pride and your strength give other people hope. Even though the world is not like we dreamed it, there is still hope worth fighting for. I first met patients with rare diseases many years ago in the Czech Republic, and I immediately realized that if you never surrender, neither could I. I understood that I must use all my political influence to help you, to help with creation of new legislation that better suits your needs, to raise your concerns in front of the institutions in Czech Republic and subsequently in Europe. I had the pleasure to work with you as a member of the European Parliament, including the work from HTA and access to medicine reports to the support of ERNS or Orphanet in the EU4Health programme. I have never wanted and I have never allowed you to be called just rare. Rare is only the term, but there is much more to it. There is strength and bravery of heroes and heroines with warrior spirit behind it. You never back down, even though all the odds are against you. Your unbreakable will inspire me and my work. I am pleased that I was able to help to promote an easier life for you, to present your troubles or worries, and to ensure better treatment option for you across the Europe, so as you can connect your dreams with reality, even if just a little bit. I promise that I will continue to help you whenever I could, to help my heroes, people who were not broken by the misfortune of life, on the contrary, it made them even stronger and, consequently, made the whole society more meaningful. I would like to thank you for the award that I'm receiving from you today. I humbly accept it because it's given to me from people whom I respect. I'm also proud of you.
Oh, congratulations again to Katarina. We'd like to recognise the great effort that our friends in the Czech Republic are making, including Ms. Konechna, to help us to bring the rare disease cause to the fore during the upcoming Czech presidency of the EU Council. And this is a first clue to the nationality of our yet-to-be-named recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award today. That's going to be announced later. That's your first clue. We've got messages coming in. Lualani says, "This feels like such a special moment. Happy to be a part of it. Congratulations." Lots of hearts and applause coming up in the chat for our awardees. I'm sure you're all sparking those off. And then Valentina says, "Oh, this is a message to Ingan and Rebecca. You are truly amazing." I think you guys have got your own fan club now. And Helen says, "Congratulations to all Black Pearl Award recipients from the Wilhelm Foundation. I really hope you will have a wonderful time and hope you will remember the evening as we do, the Black Pearl Awards 2018, when you guys won." I'm sure, like I said earlier, these awards, it's not just about the night. They really do open doors, and it's something to really be treasured. We can now move to the next award. In order to improve the lives of people living with a rare disease, together with policies, we also need research. It's a great pleasure to announce this year's scientific awardee. Professor Alan Hovnanian. Professor Hovnanian has demonstrated scientific excellence and outstanding dedication to the rare disease community. His work in rare skin diseases is admirable, especially for epidermolysis bullosa and pachyonychia congenita. By collaborating with scientists, clinicians, and patients, he has advanced research and created the basis for the development of future therapies. His scientific leadership and collaborative spirit are an inspiration and make him a truly deserving recipient of this award. Let's hear from Professor Hovnanian now.
I would like to thank EURORDIS for selecting me for the Black Pearl Scientific Award. This is a very prestigious award and I'm very honored to receive it. I started working on severe genetic diseases of the skin almost 30 years ago, when I met a girl who was affected with a terrible skin disease I never heard of before. Her skin was so fragile that it would come off with the slightest friction, leaving her covered with blisters and open wounds. I was shocked by this image of a suffering child, which I have never since forgotten. I was told that she was affected with a rare genetic disease called recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, known as RDB. There was no treatment. I thought that this was too unfair. Something had to be done to repair her skin and alleviate her suffering. At that moment, I decided to specialize in genetics. I couldn't imagine that this quest for a treatment was going to take the next 30 years of my life. It has been quite a long and challenging odyssey, which has met several hurdles. Our key progress over the years has been to develop a new treatment for RDB, using grafts of autologous skin equivalents genetically corrected with a safe retroviral vector expressing type 7 collagen, which is defective in RDB. This approach holds great promise since it allows permanent correction of the grafted areas. A first clinical trial has started to treat adult patients in Paris. Important progress also includes the identification of the genetic basis for Darier's disease, Hailey-Hailey disease, Netherton syndrome, and a subtype of very severe palmoplantar keratoderma. We have performed detailed omics studies to better understand the pathogenesis of these diseases, which now lead us to propose specific or repurposed treatments. I have always been actively engaged with the patient community, which has always supported and valued my work, has provided motivation and guidance in my research. I would like to thank in particular patient associations such as DEBRA France, DEBRA International, and DEBRA UK, EB Therapeutics, which is funding our current EB clinical trial, EB Research Partnership, as well as associations for pachyonychia congenita, le cœur au pied, Darier and Hailey-Hailey disease, AFREDA, and ichthyosis, Association Ichthyos France. The next steps would be to use gene-corrected skin equivalents to treat larger skin surfaces in a large number of adults and in children with RDB. We also aim to translate exon skipping to the clinic through the systemic delivery of oligonucleotides with an improved chemistry to treat cutaneous and mucous lesions of RDB people. Translation to the clinic of a highly potent and specific kallikrein 5 inhibitor, which we have characterized, has a great potential to treat people with Netherton syndrome, as well as biologics targeting interleukin 17 and other cytokines. Treatment of Darier's disease, Hailey-Hailey disease, and severe palmoplantar keratoderma with small molecules targeting early stages of the disease pathways should provide a new avenue for the treatment of these very disabling conditions with high unmet medical need. Alleviating the suffering of people with rare genetic skin diseases has been the engagement of my professional life. I very much hope that I will be able to make this grail become a reality through ongoing and future clinical trials with the trust and support from the rare disease community.
Congratulations, Professor. And I know we all want a copy of that Binky's book over his shoulder, don't we? You are such an inspiration to the EB community and others. And I can go straight to messages because there's messages coming in for Alan, saying here from Raina, saying, congratulations, Alan. What great achievements in EB research. Anne says, congratulations, Alan. Lots of emojis for hands clapping. We've got messages for Katerina. Victoria says, the RD field is lucky to have you, Katerina. Well done. And then Tessa says, such an impressive and graceful acceptance speech from Katerina. Absolutely. It was really gracious, wasn't it? Fantastic. Now, tonight is the night we shine a light on your remarkable efforts to build a brighter future for everyone living with a rare disease. It's not an easy journey, but we've found our voice and the strength to live our best life. To celebrate these extraordinary stories of courage and compassion and raise awareness for people with rare diseases worldwide, we have put 6 rare disease patients in the spotlight of this year's Rare Disease Day official video. This is exciting. Living on 6 different continents, these 6 heroes walk us through the challenges, the adversities and the successes that they've faced and continue to encounter in their everyday lives. We're so proud to share this video with you, which once again will prove that we are stronger together. Rare is strong, rare is many, rare is proud.
I am Tristan.
Angelina.
Nama saya Syafiq.
Regina.
Habari asubuhi, Javi.
Jeg Jon Christian og jeg bor i Norge.
I live in the United States of America.
In Australia.
Malaysia.
No Brasil.
Tunaishi Kenya.
My passion is for fashion and design.
I love to dance.
Menyusur hutan.
Para viajar e descobrir novas culturas.
Anapenda kunitazama nikipuliza mapovu.
Jeg elsker idrett og spiller spill med familien min. Minhas paixões são minha fuga quando as coisas estão difíceis.
Ada hari-harinya apabila melakukan perkara yang biasa akan jadi sangat susah.
When your disease makes you feel isolated.
It's difficult to walk.
Å være med på laget.
When I'm tired.
Afraid.
O controle da doença pode ser desafiador.
Atau mengecewakan bila saya kehilangan masa.
Muda muhimu sana.
But we learned to be resilient.
Para apreciar os pequenos detalhes que me trazem alegria.
Kumwona mtoto wangu wa kiume anavyofurahi tunapoenda nje, nikijua anasikiza hadithi na sauti zilizo karibu.
Mencari titik perhubungan dengan masyarakat yang tak pernah saya sedar wujud.
Å være uavhengig på grunn av menneskene rundt meg.
Their fierce support.
Sua bondade inabalável.
Their big love.
Mine venner.
Keluarga.
Enfermeiras.
Doctors.
Support workers.
Assistenter.
Mashirika ya wagonjwa.
Together we are a strong community.
Nimeweza kuelekewa.
Histórias compartilhadas que me libertaram das dúvidas.
Og gav meg selvtillit.
I am Tristan. I live with sickle cell.
I'm Angelina.
And she has CASC, a neurological disorder. Saya Syafiq dan saya hidup dengan ectodermal dysplasia.
Regina, eu tinha leiomiosarcoma, câncer raro.
Huyu ni Harvey, ana SMA, spinal muscular atrophy.
Jon Christian og jeg har OI, medfødt benskjørhet. Esta é minha vida.
Suara saya.
And I am more than my disease.
We are rare.
Kami ramai.
Nós somos fortes.
And we are proud.
Just wonderful. What a great film. I love that section where it says, I am more than my disease. How inspiring is that? Lovely, and lovely to hear those young voices too. Now, I just got a little note in my ear with how much money we've raised so far, but I'm not going to tell you yet. I shall tell you later. Keep giving. Messages coming in this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are. Caroline says, bravo, Professor. It's amazing. So these are obviously for Professor Hovnanian. Johan says, congratulations to the Professor. Shamila again to the Professor saying, your dedication gives us great hope. Thank you very much. And Marion says, bravo, we're very lucky to have you, Professor Hovnanian. Merci. I love it. Thank you so much for those messages. Keep them coming in. We're now at one of the key moments of the evening. We're about to announce the 3 awardees voted by you, the public. Let's start with the Visual and Audio Media Award. We have 3 truly inspiring finalists for this year's award, each representing a different type of media. Noemi Descuito Zunen, an extremely talented opera singer living with ALS, who has raised awareness about the disease using her voice. The film festival Uno Scardo Raro, created by Serena Bartizzati and Claudia Crisafio, which has brought the realities faced by people living with a rare disease to a broader public in Italy and beyond. And the short animated film Go Make Memories by Carl Mason and John Lee Taggart, which broke the silence of the reality of people living with Niemann-Pick disease and showed the effect the condition can have on the entire family. More than 2,000 people have voted for this award. Can you see my arm going out? Here is the winning person. More than 2,000 people have voted, and I'm thrilled to announce that the recipient is Noemi Descuitos Zunen. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, before we go to her, let's hear her song. Noemi Descuitos Zunen, congratulations. It's lovely to have you with us. I haven't seen you since 2 years ago when you sang at these awards. Now, this song, Never Give Up, that we've just heard, is an inspiration to all people living with a rare disease. Can you tell us about what it means to you?
First of all, I want to thank you, all of you, that voted for me. I'm very glad and a little bit surprised. But it's a great honor for me. But never give up is the most important message you can give to a person who has to live with a rare or incurable disease. These are the words of Stephen Hawking, who is known to have lived with the disease ALS for more than 50 years. But he did not only live with ALS, but he discovered fantastic things in the world of science. I wrote a song in 2018, shortly after Stephen Hawking's death. His words touched me very much, and I wanted to set these words to music. And I dedicated the song to all people in the world who live with the disease ALS. And I wanted to give them a message of hope and courage. You know, singing has always been my great passion. My voice is almost like my soul. I'm very happy to have kept my voice until today, And I hope that it will stay like that for a long while, but I'm not so sure.
Well, it's been amazing to hear you this evening, and the congratulations for you are coming in thick and fast. Turkel here says, congratulations, Noemi. Aspida says, that was magical. Jenny says, congratulations, Noemi. Thank you so much for giving us your performance and for sharing your thoughts as well. I mean, really picking up on what Avril said earlier about this word perseverance, such an important word, and also hearing from the professor about, he got this idea, and then 30 years later, that's a long time. So perseverance is so important in this community. You guys are such an inspiration. Before we move on to the next award, we'd like to take a moment to enjoy our first performance. Well, I feel like we've just had a performance, but we've got another one straight off the back of it, which is great. This is our first performance of the evening by Luan Pommier from Guadeloupe. Luan is just 21 and has already captivated a huge audience with, among others, a magnificent performance on the programme La France a un incroyable talent. France has got talent, that was last year. Luan has been visually impaired from an early age, but she doesn't consider her disability an obstacle. She started singing and playing the piano when she was only 3 years old and is currently studying at the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston. I'd now like to invite you to close your eyes and experience the music as Luan herself does, and join me in listening to her amazing performance. Enjoy.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, oh no, made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman, baby. What you done to me, you make me feel so good inside. And I just wanna be close to you. You make me feel so you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman, and I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because
Wow, I'm not worthy. That was incredible. And I'm thrilled to welcome Luan live from Boston. Thank you so much for joining us, Luan. That was truly amazing to watch. Now, we know you're living with the rare eye disease, Leber hereditary optic neuropathy. Could you tell us a little bit more about the condition and also how the condition has influenced the way that you relate to music?
First of all, it is a great honor to be with you all. It is a tremendous honor. I'm so glad to be here. I am calling from Guadeloupe and not from Boston due to, yes.
Even more exciting.
Yes, no winter. And actually, as you might know, and as you said, I am affected by a rare disease, which is called the Leber's congenital amaurosis, but I call it the Leber disease because why not? And this has different levels. For some people, you can't see at all. For some people, you use one eye. For some people, you use both. Well, I can only use my left eye, and the right eye is actually in the cloudy vision. So this eye is the one that I use more frequently. And once you're born with it, you get used to the disease, and you don't really know what it's like in the world, basically. So I got used to being in my own universe because I didn't mind that. And it was only once I got to a regular school that I started seeing things like discrimination, hatred, and things like that, because I couldn't see very well, and just because I was different. But I have to say I was unique. So the way I got over that was with music, and actually music has helped me a lot in communicating. I think if music wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to talk today. And this is something very, very vital. I started humming when I was 8 months, singing and playing the piano when I was 3, and this has always been there, and I don't know why. And yeah, this is just something powerful. And I feel like with music, I get more of a respect. And this kind of discrimination, well, it's still there, but less than when people know that I don't do music.
Luan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That performance was truly wonderful. And just also to hear how important music is. Singing is soul food. So thank you so much for just advocating for that too. Thank you. We've got lots of messages coming through. Daniel said, this is about Luan's performance. Daniel says, blown away in reaction to Luan's song. Diana says, wow, that was breathtaking. Kim says, Luan, you have an amazing voice. And Anders says, thank you for this wonderful music. We really did just get spoilt there for a whole 10 minutes, didn't we? Daniel says, congratulations to Noemi. We're so very proud of you, and what a beautiful song. So messages coming in for both our singers there. Now, before we move to our next award, a reminder that you can pay tribute to this 10th anniversary of the Black Pearl Awards and help advance the critical work of EURORDIS by making a donation. You can click the pink donate button just below now. I'm thrilled to share with you that we've got a phenomenal response, and we have raised €7,500. Wow. A huge thank you to everyone who's already contributed. Please keep those donations coming in. We can see so clearly what a difference it makes. Now let's move to the second award open to the public vote, the EURORDIS Written Media Award. For this category, we had 4 outstanding finalists. Anna Illich for her poetry about life with a rare disease, Kees Schmidt for his autobiography, Surviving Haemophilia, A Road Trip Through the World of Healthcare, Dr. David Fagenbaum for his best-selling autobiography, Chasing My Cure, A Doctor's Race to Turn Hope into Action, and Nicola Miller and Rebecca Stewart for their Rare Revolution magazine, elevating the voices of people living with a rare disease. We've had over 6,000 votes for this category. Wow, 6,000 votes. And I'm delighted to announce that the awardee is Anna Illich. Congratulations. Now, let me get this bit of paper out, because just in case this was going to happen, I've got this beautiful poem that was written by Anna. It was written back in 2009 when she was just 14 years old. So I'm just going to read that for you before we go over to her, okay? It's called Anxiety and Fear. I am falling because all trodden pictures sprinkled with ashes of colours are pushing me through the emptiness of these grey eyes and the wet, remote streets where children do not pass. I am getting up because I can break off plastic chains and shackles, because I still recognise the shaking of muddy lands. I believe because I do not see the arrogant, heroic deeds of the hidden, and the sobbing of the superior standards has not reached me yet. I fret because the trance of naive steps is deep, and the reflection of muddy masks is already dust. I flee, for I cannot follow, and the fall of wooden wings does not hurt, for there are no free flights, nor the thin light of luxuries. I disappear, because the aimless paths disappear in the fog, and the deep pits feed on my blood only. I dream, because only dreams are still untouched by the awkward carelessness of the casual silhouettes. Wow, Anna, that's truly amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. And joining us now, Anna, lovely to have you with us. Your poetry is amazing. I can't believe you wrote that when you were so young. So what's your inspiration? What gave you the inspiration to start writing your poems?
Well, it was just in my nature. I actually never intended to become an inspiration or something like that, but the media approached me that way, and I'm glad for making possible that mindset for others.
So with your poetry, how have the public responded to it?
Well, as I said, I tried to live my life, and without the disease, how would I live it? I used to think that I can make everything possible, but diseases and stuff like that made me realize everything is not possible for everyone by default. But I still used to think that way, and I went through life that way, and I just achieved what I wanted, and through poetry and through every part of life, I just try to live the way I would want to.
You are really inspiring in doing that. What a great motto for life. What are your plans with your poetry or expectations for the future?
Well, self-development is always most important to me. I mean, career-wise and everything else. Like, I would like to continue my education because I have a college degree in philosophy, but now I miss those big, boring books of philosophy, and I would like to get master's degree. And
wow. Well, Anna, good luck with your studies. We hope that all comes together for you. Lots of messages coming in for you tonight. Let's have a read of a few of them. Victoria says, well done, Anna. Nicola, congratulations, Anna. Polly, well done, Anna. Wonderful work. And Anders, this is a lovely message. He says, what a wonderful way to make words an inspiration and understanding beyond. Anna, congratulations this evening.
Thank you.
Now, as you saw earlier this evening in the video about the impact of this event, the net funds generated through the EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards are invested each year into work that directly benefits the rare disease community. And that has a lasting impact for rare disease patients and their families. One of those initiatives is the EURORDIS Open Academy. Let's hear from some of our trainees on the impact these programs have had on them.
My name is Ilaria Galetti. I come from Italy.
My name is Dorica Dan and I'm coming from Romania.
My name is Lex van der Heijden.
I'm Tamara Husong Milagre. I'm a German living in Portugal since 22 years.
Open Academy helped me to get important goals. And when I talk about Open Academy, I talk about the summer school, the winter school, and the leadership school program. They help me in deeper my knowledge in the development of new medicine and therapies, but also in better communicate and better engage with my stakeholders in order to be an equal stakeholder with clinicians, now at the same level. And I must thank EURORDIS and the Open Academy project.
So Open Academy helped me to understand more about research, more about access to treatment for patients with rare diseases, and helped me to find my leadership skills and my communication skills with others, and especially with experts in our community.
The Open Academy helped me in especially connecting with other people physically. So in other words, that we really sat around the table and learn from the different cultures. It's very interesting, I think very important as a global organization which we are, to understand each other and also looking at the cultural aspects of communication.
Open Academy from EURORDIS helped me once again to achieve the consciousness that learning, education is never too much, and we learn each and every day more and more, so take advantage of Academy and take part in it.
After hearing those first-hand testimonies, I'd be remiss if I didn't offer you a reminder that we can all play a part in advancing EURORDIS's work with and for the rare disease community by making a personal donation today. Click the donate button, it's that pink button below. And we're now about to announce the last award open to the public vote, the Young Patient Advocate Award. This is an exciting one. This year's outstanding finalists are Adrian Goretzi from Poland, advocating for patients with primary immunodeficiencies. Athanasios Palidis from Greece, advocating for familial hypercholesterolemia. And Rachele Maschini from Italy, advocating for cystic fibrosis. The three of them have worked relentlessly to improve the lives of those living with a rare disease and are an inspiration to all other budding young patient advocates. Now, we received over 4,000 votes for this category, and we are delighted to announce, let's see who's won this one. The winner is Rachele Maschini. Let's take a look at her film. Congratulations.
Buongiorno. Sono Rachele Maschini. Ho 25 anni e sono una pilota di rally. La passione per i motori l'ho ereditata da mio padre. Anche lui pilota ed oggi il mio primo fan e motivatore. È stato amore a prima vista. Da quella prima gara insieme non sono più riuscita a smettere di correre e di quel giorno ricordo il vortice di emozioni contrastanti. Da una parte la paura di non essere all'altezza e dall'altra la scarica di adrenalina che mi ha fatto sentire viva. Ho capito che sarebbe diventata una grande sfida da subito.
1, vai, 30.
Essere una donna nel motorsport significa confrontarsi con avversari agguerriti, un grande sforzo fisico e una buona dose di pregiudizi da sfatare. Ma un altro motivo rende questa prova ancora più importante. Nel 1994, giorno della mia nascita, con lo screening neonatale mi è stata diagnosticata la fibrosi cistica. Nessuno avrebbe mai immaginato che avrei impiegato quasi la metà della mia vita a curarmi. La fibrosi cistica è la malattia genetica grave più diffusa. Danneggia pancreas e polmoni e toglie progressivamente il respiro. È poco conosciuta, ma colpisce 8.000 persone in Italia e 70.000 nel mondo. Ogni giorno ho una routine da portare avanti. Mi sveglio, faccio colazione, prendo le pastiglie e faccio le terapie. La stessa cosa tutte le mattine e tutte le sere, sia quando vado al lavoro, sia in gara. Ai miei genitori è stato detto che non avrei raggiunto l'età adulta e invece, grazie alla mia forza di volontà, ma soprattutto grazie alla ricerca, non solo sono riuscita ad arrivare ad oggi, ma ho esaudito il mio più grande sogno di far diventare la mia passione per i motori una professione. L'unico momento in cui la mia malattia scompare è quando indosso il casco e penso solo ad andare più veloce dei miei avversari. La malattia è parte di me e proprio perché è subdola ed invisibile è importante far accendere i riflettori sull'importanza di sensibilizzare chi non la conosce.
Well, we heard about the impact of singing earlier. Now we've got racetrack driving. That's so inspiring. Raquel, congratulations. It's lovely to have you with us this evening. Congratulations. Now, you have raised over €300,000 for research into cystic fibrosis. When you started campaigning and getting yourself out there, did you ever imagine you would be facing this amount of success?
Hello everyone. First of all, thank you. I'm so excited. And no, not at all. When Racing for a Breath project was born, my first goal was to use the attention I received from being a woman in motorsport to the advantage of knowledge in FC, in the cystic fibrosis. Thanks to all the fans, I was surprised by the generosity and the kindness of people. And I had a lot of opportunity, thanks to my sports, obviously, and to the media that always allow me to speak about racing, about my project, and about the foundation beyond my career.
Just fantastic to have all those opportunities. So where do you go from here? I mean, if you've raised €300,000, it's kind of like, how do you top that? What happens for you in the future?
For the future, we are working to finance a project on healthy carrier in the CFTR gene in Italy for a screening program offered to the whole Italian population. In the other hand, about my racing goals, I would like to continue my growth process and make my career more and more international, focusing on the European Rally Championship and maybe in the WRC. Obviously, including the charity project, as always.
Congratulations this evening. Lots of messages coming through from you, for you. Magdalena saying congratulations to the incredible Raquel, inspiring young woman and a true role model. Your community shall be proud. All the best from FH Europe and the HOFH community. And also Alessandra saying, Raquel, you are a fantastic example. We hope that you go away with lots of encouragement this evening, Raquel. Well done.
Thank you.
Now, it's inspiring to see all these young advocates already showing a high level of leadership, which is a key quality not only in advocacy, but also in all types of actions in support of rare diseases. This is clearly demonstrated by the joint recipients of this year's EURORDIS European Rare Disease Leadership Award. They are Enrique Terol, Victoria Headley, and Birute Tumaine. The award recognises their outstanding work to launch and develop the European reference networks. We heard about those earlier from Avril. Before we hear from them, let's watch a short video about the networks.
My name is Ilaria. I've been coping with systemic sclerosis for about 25 years. So when I got the diagnosis, I was pretty young. Rare diseases have few patients, but we have to consider that in Europe, more than 30 million rare disease patients live. So we are a lot of people. The European reference networks are different because it's not just one doctor. It's a pool of doctors. And usually patients have to travel a lot, also abroad, out of the national borders to receive a diagnosis. With the European reference networks, it's not necessarily to travel anymore because there is a virtual platform and the doctors belonging to the reference networks, they could enter the data on this very, very secure virtual platform and ask the cooperation of their colleagues spread around Europe. So it's the information that travel, not the patient.
Let's now hear from the awardees, starting from Victoria Headley, telling us about her purpose, why she started working in rare diseases, and why this has been her role in the ERN's story.
Thank you, Carrie. My purpose. I started working in rare diseases firstly because I have a relative with a rare disease, but more than that, I wanted to work in a field where I could feel that day to day, the work we were doing was going to have some meaningful impact for the people who need it, for patients and families. And I was really shocked at first to learn the scale and the extent of the challenges facing our collectively huge population. My role in the ERN story began when I joined the team at Newcastle. On my first day, I was assigned to the ERN portfolio. That was a big part of my life for many, many years. And my role was really to help develop the concept of what an ERN should be and should do, to support that first call, and then to have the opportunity to get to know and to work with the 24 amazing individuals who came forward to lead those networks, and to work with them to identify good practices, things that we could take forward into the ERNs. So it's been a real pleasure to be part of the ERN story so far. The ERN concept means a great deal to me personally because it is a wonderful example of what can be achieved when you collaborate across borders, across stakeholder groups. And that message of cross-border collaboration, of not being able to do it alone, is something which is personally very meaningful for me in these challenging times. So I want to thank EURORDIS and the Black Pearl Committee for this award. It's a real honour for me. And I would like to ask one of my co-awardees, Enrique Terol, who it's been a real pleasure to work with for many years. Enrique, what would you say is the key factor behind the success of the ERN so far?
Well, Vicky, after 12 years of experience in this endeavor, two elements can explain the success of an initially wishful but ambitious idea. Firstly, the idea itself, that the best specialists from across Europe could join their efforts to tackle complex or rare medical conditions so that any rare disease patient in the EU could have free, equal and equitable access to healthcare, no matter their gender, age or origin. The idea crystallized the feelings, needs and sense of opportunity and urgency of many people. And second, the strong driving force to develop the networks, the creation of the ERN community, a wise and strong community of believers, sharing the goal of looking out for the best interests of the patients, doing the right thing for the patients, using the intellect, the knowledge, the capacity, and the solidarity of different resources in the best possible way. No matter the budget, no matter the legal basis, none of this would have been possible without a community such as the one I have had the privilege of being a part of. And my own very personal reason. How many times in our professional careers can we noticeably improve the life of someone? I want to thank EURORDIS for this Black Pearl Award that I proudly share with the ERN community, ERN coordinators, project managers, healthcare professionals, experts and representatives from the member states, and of course, for you, the patients. In particular, I want to share it with some of my colleagues of the Commission, those who had a vision beyond the common bureaucratic and institutional short-term mentality, with whom I have had the privilege of working all these years. And now I turn to Birute. How do you see the future of the networks?
The future of ENs, of course it is bright. However, when we talk about future, we usually tend to overestimate what could be done over 1 year and underestimate what could be achieved in 10 years. And both tendencies may make us pessimistic. Indeed, if we stop for a while and think over what was achieved during the last 10 years, since 2010, it is really impressive. At that time, ERNs were not even on the horizon. In many member states, a single center of expertise still was not identified and designated, at least formally. Actually, all EU national plans for rare diseases could be quantified on the fingers of just one hand. Today, we have absolutely different situation. On the other hand, we are setting huge hopes and expectations on ENs, but we should bear in mind that it takes time, and it is not possible to reap all the sweet fruits right after planting a tree. Hence, over the next 10 years, it is hugely important, first, to take care that ERNs are able to perform their functions and ensure their long-term sustainability. Second, to take care that every person in need across Europe may access ENs, and this task relies on proper EN integration into our national systems. Finally, strong and properly supported ENs should extend the concept of networking globally. These three crucial steps will allow us to transform diagnostic labyrinths and odysseys into diagnostic highways and to hold our promise to ensure truly universal health coverage for people with rare and complex diseases.
Congratulations to three great leaders. Messages coming through for you. This is great. This is from Matt. Much love to Vicky, Birute and Enrique. Lots of hearts and emojis. You have all transformed the healthcare system in the EU, placing at the heart the needs and voice of our community. You individually and together create something special. We need leaders like you to enable us to reach for the stars and achieve what was once impossible. Matt, fantastic encouragement, and also one here from Claudia saying, thank you EURORDIS for such an amazing event. Bringing us together in these times is more important than ever, and seeing all these amazing friends is essential to keep us all going. Fantastic, thank you for those messages. Now, I've also just been told that we have raised this today €12,600. Please keep donating. It really does make all the difference. At last year's Black Pearl Awards, as I just said, so many of you are doing tonight, attendees made generous donations to advance EURORDIS's critical work for the rare disease community. Thanks to the €18,000 raised on that occasion, EURORDIS was able to launch Rare Disease Week 2021, which is taking place this very week, bringing 38 patient advocates from around Europe together virtually to directly engage with their members of the European Parliament and advocate for effective change on behalf of the rare disease community. What an opportunity. To share a little bit more about the impact of Rare Disease Week, I'm really thrilled to be joined by Dominique Storz, a patient advocate from Austria, who's been taking part in this inaugural European Rare Disease Week. Welcome, Dominique.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you, EURORDIS, for having me here tonight. And good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure and an honor to meet the heroes of the rare disease community each year. And my sincere congratulations to all the award recipients. But let me come to the first ever Brussels Online Rare Disease Week. It's just halftime now on Wednesday, and I already look back to amazing experiences and learnings and to dialogues and partnerships lying ahead of me and of us. So my and my colleagues' journey started much earlier than this, of course. It goes back to many years ago through lived experience with a rare disease in our families, through patient advocacy activities. But also EURORDIS has prepared us very well through summer school, winter school, and other educational tools. Open Academy was mentioned. And last October, we started with the webinar series organized by the EURORDIS team about EU institutions, how they work, how they do their work, how legislative processes are done, and also other skills. And also by coordinating with my colleagues, other patient advocates, EURORDIS volunteers, we all have been learning a lot about those European institutions and their legislative work and how to build and shape the future with them together. So this week, yeah.
No. You finish off.
This week and also after this week, we will have the opportunity to put our knowledge into practice. That also can be useful, of course, to engage with policymakers on national levels. And we have spent hours and days now in meetings with MEPs, members of European Parliament, and other policymakers on behalf of the rare disease community. So this is how we can contribute to the legislative framework in rare diseases and in health policy in general.
Dominic Storz, thank you so much for that contribution for us in explaining what you're up to. I mean, just this, can you imagine? I'm just thinking about what it was like for me nearly 40 years ago when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. You're like dropped into the world of acronym, aren't you? Everything's got an initial, you don't know what anything means. And then when we hear someone like Dominique speaking and she's saying, well, what EURORDIS has really helped us to know is to understand the legislation, to understand how the regulators work or the clinicians work, and all the right language that we need as patients in order to really progress our collaboration. Fantastic. What a great thing you're doing this week. Now, your support will help make sure that Rare Disease Week and so many other programs which benefit the rare disease community are able to continue strongly into the future. Please don't forget to make a donation via the donate button underneath the streaming video. And thank you again for your generosity and support. Let's also take a moment to recognise our corporate donors who help us make this event possible each year. There they are. We love you. We're truly grateful for your loyalty, helping EURORDIS to provide valuable support to break the isolation of rare disease patients and their families, to empower leaders and to increase public awareness. A heartfelt thanks to each of you shown on the screen, and even more so during this devastating global pandemic. This links nicely with our next segment, the announcement of our 3 company awards. We start with the EURORDIS Company Award for Innovation. This award recognises companies that are undertaking groundbreaking activities to advance rare disease research and treatment development. This year's award goes to Orchard Therapeutics to celebrate the company's leadership in harnessing the power of ex vivo autologous gene therapies, which changed the course of severe inherited disorders. Orchard Therapeutics has shown commitment to addressing great unmet needs for patients and the rare disease community at large through the development of one-time, potentially curative treatments. The company has also pushed advances towards delivering an innovative therapy for the metachromatic leukodystrophy community in Europe and continued readiness to facilitate and advocate for early diagnosis in underserved disease areas. Let's hear from the Chief Executive Officer at Orchard Therapeutics, Bobby Gaspar.
Hello, I'm Bobby Gaspar, CEO and co-founder of Orchard Therapeutics. On behalf of the Orchard team, I'm honoured to accept the EURORDIS 2021 Company Award for Innovation. This award is the culmination of years of hard work by many to improve the lives of patients with rare inherited disorders. Innovation is integral to our work at Orchard. In fact, one of our core values at Orchard is ingenuity, centred around the idea of imagining new possibilities. We're committed to innovation and new possibilities in every aspect of our work. New possibilities for our colleagues, medicine, communities, but most importantly, for the patients we wish to treat. As a team, we are grounded by science and guided by curiosity, creativity, and openness to exploring new and different ways of doing things. Ingenuity and innovation brought us to where we are today and will continue to drive our work in the future. Pursuing innovative gene therapies for children with rare diseases has been my life's work. I first saw babies hospitalized for severe genetic diseases when I started my career as a junior doctor at Great Ormond Street Hospital nearly 30 years ago. Seeing these infants who had little chance of surviving past childhood showed me firsthand the devastation that these severe rare genetic diseases can have on those children and their families. Around this time, researchers were beginning to explore the potential of hematopoietic stem cell or HSC gene therapy to treat these types of disorders. This process seemed almost like science fiction at the time, and involved taking a patient's own blood stem cells and introducing a working copy of the missing or faulty gene before returning those gene-corrected cells back into the patient. As we began to see the potential of HSC gene therapy to treat immune and neurometabolic disorders, I knew then that the rest of my professional life would be dedicated to improving outcomes for these patients through better diagnosis and through trying to make these HSC gene therapies as widely available as possible to patients. In 2015, with colleagues, I co-founded Orchard Therapeutics to try and bring this vision to life. Now, 5 years into our journey, that vision is beginning to come to fruition. In December, after years of partnership with the San Rafael Telethon Institute for Gene Therapy, we received EC approval for HSC gene therapy for the treatment of eligible patients with early onset metachromatic leukodystrophy, or MLD, opening up new possibilities for these patients where previously no approved treatment options existed. This is an achievement that I'm personally very proud of, and I know that at Orchard we are all extremely proud of. And we are very appreciative that the EURORDIS committee selected Orchard for the Company Innovation Award. As an industry, we've made great progress, moving therapies from concepts in the laboratory to approved treatments for patients. However, innovation will be needed on all fronts as more therapies come to market. We are committed to continuing to innovate not only through the development of potentially curative gene therapies, but also on the delivery of these therapies to patients. We will continue to work with urgency to bring these potentially transformative therapies to all those who can benefit. We look forward to continuing to collaborate with the rare disease community on initiatives critical to the community, such as newborn screening and cross-border healthcare. On behalf of everyone at Orchard, I'd like to thank patients, advocacy organizations, and communities who work daily to improve the lives of people with rare diseases. Thank you, EURORDIS, for this humbling recognition and the important work you do to represent and advocate for rare disease patients in Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you, Orchard Therapeutics. And now for our next award. The EURORDIS Company Award for Health Technology recognises companies developing technologies with significant positive impact on the daily lives of people living with a rare disease. We commend EpiHunter for creating an affordable and accessible digital solution that helps people with absence epilepsy to live more confident and full lives. We're encouraged by the effectiveness of the technology to empower people to manage their condition better, have meaningful interactions with those around them, and overcome feelings of isolation. EpiHunter's innovative approach also contributes to raising much-needed awareness on a silent and invisible condition that is all too often misunderstood. Let's hear about EpiHunter's purpose.
What if we could remove the daily life impact of a neurological condition? Let's compare it to the glasses that I'm wearing. They do not cure my eyes, but allow me and many other people to participate fully in society, despite our bad eyesight. What all neurological conditions have in common is that they are hidden underneath the skull. What if we could make the invisible visible? What if we would externalize brain state? At EpiHunter, we turn consumer EEG and deep learning algorithms into digital technology that decreases the daily life impact of a neurological condition. And while doing so, we generate real-world data for faster diagnosis and optimized treatment. And hopefully, this data will also fuel repurposing of drugs or novel therapies.
Through detecting, signalling and recording of absence seizures, EpiHunter's device provides clinicians and researchers complete and accurate data, which is key for improving care and advancing knowledge of absence epilepsy. Now let's take a look at the ad.
Okay, boys and girls, we're gonna continue with the maths class. So we go to page 38, exercise 15. So, cheese. 250 grams of cheese, 2.50 euro. How much will 1 kilogram cost? Go and make the exercise. I want you to calculate how much 50 kilos is, all right? Okay, continue. All right, we go back from here. Cheese, 250 grams, 2.50 euro. You have to calculate how much 1 kilo is. Do you understand? All right, go ahead.
Isn't that just wonderful? I can think of a number of people who would really benefit from that. Now, finally, let's hear from the founder and CEO of EpiHunter, Tim Buckingham.
Well, thank you so much to the EURORDIS organization for your mission to bring so many people together around rare diseases. And thank you so much for this award. Honestly, I was very much touched when hearing the news. It is a fantastic validation for the team and an inspiration to continue on our journey. This award is also for all mothers and fathers fighting relentlessly for a better future for their child, screaming for recognition for sometimes very invisible conditions. My son was diagnosed with ring chromosome 20. He experiences frequent 20-minute long epileptic absence seizures, which look mostly like daydreaming. And when he was 10 years old, he asked me during a bedtime conversation, "Papa, you work in digital. Can't you create a light that turns on when my brain switches off? Because then my teacher will see the seizures and know what to repeat or when to give more time for a test." And I realized that that would take away the impact of his seizures at school. It would also make them countable and thus take away reporting pressure from us as parents. And then we live in fantastic times in which we can turn this bright idea for my son into a real solution, today available in Europe and in Australia, and in a validation study in the renowned Boston Children's Hospital. We hope that this award can help to make EpiHunter known to more epileptologists so they can speak about it with their clients with suspected or diagnosed absence epilepsy. We'd like this also to be an invitation to other parents, physicians, patient and commercial organizations to join us in coming up with more digital solutions for neurological conditions and making them as common as the glasses that I'm wearing.
Congratulations, EpiHunter. And isn't that a reminder of the assets that we hold as patients and as families of patients, just having those other assets? There are people tonight who've done the most extraordinary things who are just parents. Wow, really impressive stuff. The EURORDIS Company Award for Patient Engagement recognises Takeda's commitment to collaborative and constructive engagement with the rare disease patient community. Among the first companies signing the EURORDIS Charter for Clinical Trials in Rare Diseases in 2010, Takeda has since demonstrated an openness to exchange on critical issues impacting rare disease patients. Takeda is a company committed to changing the landscape of diagnosis, care and treatment of patients. They stimulate patient-focused, multi-stakeholder collaboration across Europe to improve the lives of patients with rare and complex diseases. We also note the company's approach to facilitate patient insights in the development of medicines during their life cycles. Takeda's long-standing engagement with EURORDIS is another reflection of the company's commitment, particularly through its consistent support of key events and programs that help to elevate the voice of rare disease patients across diseases and borders. Let's have a look.
Takeda was founded in 1781 by Chobei Takeda in Osaka, Japan. Today, the company is a global, values-based, R&D-driven biopharmaceutical leader with an 80-year rare disease legacy. Takeda has a dedicated rare disease franchise focusing on rare immunology, hematology, and metabolic disorders. Takeda focuses on equitable access to diagnosis, treatments, and social opportunity for people living with rare diseases, where different perspectives, capabilities, and experience can be brought together to bring about change. Takeda has long-term partnerships with single disease patient communities and approaches its partnership with wider rare disease communities as equally important. We are proud of the work we do through our partnerships with national, regional, and international rare disease organizations. We are committed to supporting patients living with rare diseases.
יש מחלה. צריך להמשיך חיים אחרים עכשיו.
Better health, brighter future.
Let's now hear from the President of Europe and Canada Business Unit for Takeda, Giles Platford.
I'd like to start by saying a huge thank you to EURORDIS for this very special recognition, also to extend my congratulations to the other award winners. It's remarkable that we can come together as a rare disease community to celebrate this important event in a virtual format, despite the challenging circumstances. So equally, I extend my thanks to EURORDIS for making this happen. Of course, no greater recognition than that provided by patients, their families, and carers. So at Takeda, we are tremendously humbled and grateful to receive this award. At Takeda, we do believe in patient centricity as a philosophy, and we try to live that day to day in how we co-create patient-centric solutions that can really make a difference to patients' lives and address unmet needs, and how we engage patients early in the drug development life cycle. And we're so proud of the many collaborations and partnerships that we forged over our more than 80 years partnering with the rare disease community. And of course, none of this can be achieved alone. And we are so impressed and so inspired by the work that EURORDIS and your member organizations are doing every day to positively impact the standard of care for patients with rare diseases, to improve the lives of patients and the families of those patients who suffer the burden of rare diseases. Takeda is committed to be a valued partner to the rare disease community. We're very grateful to receive this recognition, and we are thankful to EURORDIS for all that you are doing as a valued partner to Takeda and so many stakeholders across the rare disease community. Thank you.
Thanks, Giles, and congratulations to Takeda. Now, I've just been looking at my phone and seeing the hashtag EURORDIS Awards 2021. Lots of messages coming through, so do check that out and make sure that you add yours. And don't forget those photos. It would be great to see those. We're now approaching the end of the ceremony, and we'll soon be revealing the name of this year's recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. I love this section of the show. But before we do so, we're delighted to present our second performer of the evening. Swami La Rosa, an inspiring young singer living with cystic fibrosis. If you haven't guessed yet who the Lifetime Achievement Awardee is, I can tell you that there is a second clue here linked with cystic fibrosis. So, without further ado, here's the video of Swami performing her powerful song, Un Arma, a Weapon.
Vivo tra I contrasti dei muri di casa, pensieri duri come sassi, il macigno di una resa, lenti come le dita sul mio pianoforte, i passi contati nei silenzi della notte. Il mio sorriso non si tocca, non c'è ferita che mi guasta, dolori chiusi dentro armadi. Cammino ancora coi miei piedi. Respiro il futuro, la mia voce resta un'arma per gettare via il veleno. Sentieri, polmoni, la mia voce resta un'arma, una stanza in cui non ho prigioni. Vivo e non mi importa di essere me stessa, amo giocare coi sogni e abitare una strada promessa. Le 6 la mattina di un giorno migliore, guardarti negli occhi e restare poi senza parole. Il mio sorriso non si tocca, non c'è ferita che mi guasta, dolori chiusi dentro armadi. Cammino ancora coi miei piedi. Respiro il futuro, la mia voce resta un'arma per gettare via il veleno. Sentieri, polmoni, la mia voce resta un'arma, una stanza in cui non ho prigioni. Prigioni, oh no. Respiro il futuro, la mia voce resta un'arma per gettare via il veleno. Sentieri, polmoni, la mia voce resta un'arma, una stanza in cui non ho prigioni. Prigioni, oh no. Il mio sorriso non si tocca, non c'è ferita che mi guasta, dolori chiusi dentro armadi. Cammino ancora coi miei piedi.
Swami. Go Swami. That was fantastic. I definitely think they should put you forward for Italy in the Eurovision next year, for sure. Let's have a look at a video message from Swami now.
Ciao a tutti, per me è un onore essere qui con voi questa sera, quindi intanto grazie. Vi parlo degli impedimenti che possono esserci nella mia vita da cantante a causa della fibrosi cistica. Diciamo che non sono pochi. Considerate che per cantare gli organi principali sono ovviamente i polmoni ed è anche vero che i miei problemi derivano proprio da lì. Sono tanti gli ostacoli, tra cui magari la tosse frequente o la mancanza di fiato, però è vero anche che la forza di volontà è più grande di tutto questo. La musica in realtà è la vera forza motrice della mia vita e grazie a lei e alla determinazione, diciamo, per realizzarla, riesco ad eseguire comunque con la voglia tutte le terapie. È vero, sono tante, davvero tante, però ne vale la pena perché nonostante i momenti di sconforto il canto per me è davvero superiore a tutto e la musica anche. Grazie a voi, grazie a tutti ed un abbraccio forte dalla Sicilia, un bacio, Swami.
Thank you, Swami. Now, we've got lots of messages coming through, particularly about our company awards. Obviously, we had those awards, 3 of them that have just gone by. Russell says, so easy for us to forget the vital contribution of companies at ceremonies like this, and so important for them to be included. We're all working for the same aims and are interdependent. That's lovely. Matt says, our industry partners are critical and valued leaders of our community. Congratulations for your awards and recognition. And Flaminia says, thank you, Takeda, for the global focus also on low and middle income countries. Really important. And finishing here with Adrian saying, congrats to Orchard. Their gene therapies bring hope to patients with severe immunodeficiencies. Not only hope, but also a chance to live a normal life. Fantastic messages. Keep them coming. Thank you for doing those all the way through this evening. Now, we're ready to announce the Lifetime Achievement Award. Up to now, we've been given 2 clues. He or she is from the Czech Republic, and the speciality disease that is cystic fibrosis. So, have you got any guesses? Type them into the chat. Come on, who do you think it is? I'd love to know if you've got any ideas, whether our community just kind of knows this stuff off the top of their head. You can type your ideas in the chat, and I'm going to share some of his credentials. There's another clue. He's shown lifelong dedication in addressing the needs of people living with a rare disease in the Czech Republic and in Europe. The Lifetime Achievement Award recognises his commitment to rare diseases within the European Union Committee of Experts on Rare Diseases, the European Society of Human Genetics, the Cystic Fibrosis Network, Orphanet, and many more. He's been a key figure in many of EURORDIS events, including the Rare 2030 Foresight Project and the European Conference on Rare Diseases and Orphan Products. He's been achieving great results in raising awareness on the importance of keeping rare diseases at a European public health priority, not to mention his instrumental help in making the link with colleagues in the upcoming Czech EU Council presidency team. So, no one's got it right so far, so I'm going to give that announcement. I'm delighted to announce the recipient of the EURORDIS Lifetime Achievement Award 2021 is Milan Marcek. Please join me in welcoming Milan, who is now with us live. Congratulations, Milan. What a wonderful award. Now, what made you get involved with the rare disease in the very beginning? What made you choose that?
Well, thank you, Carrie, and good evening, everyone. And after Raquel and Swami, it's really difficult for me to speak coherently because I'm really moved. And I have to admit that I'm deeply touched and truly honored and very grateful for EURORDIS for giving me this prestigious award. And I just want to say that EURORDIS is a highly respected voice of rare diseases in Europe and beyond. And I'm a physician, right? And we physicians particularly value appreciation from people whom we humbly serve. Truly, that's the core of it. But however, I have to stress that it is not just a personal award, it's a recognition of the entire Czech rare disease community and their contribution to the field. Well, what made me start in rare diseases, I finished my medical school in the late 80s and I decided to enroll into MD PhD program and first start with research. And I still remember when my mentor came to me and said, hey, you know, it's an exciting time. There are 2 groups hunting the cystic fibrosis gene. Would you like to join one of them? And I said, well, okay, why not? And in fact, coincidentally, my question, which I drew at the final sort of state exams in medical school was on cystic fibrosis. Wow, two things came together. So, and since then on, it was just a matter of hard work and luck. And I first started in Berlin, where we genotype patients, and then moved to Johns Hopkins, where I received my second postdoctoral fellowship. And there, and that's why I talk of Raquel and Swami, and there I met a young student. Her name was Liz Nash. And she had CF, and she came to the lab, and worked with us and carried out her first undergrad and then postgrad research. And she persevered. She came often sick to the lab, but she showed us what it is, what strength she had, and how dedicated she was. Unfortunately, later, 10 years later, she succumbed to her disease, and her family established a Liz Nash Memorial Foundation, which now supports people with cystic fibrosis. In their research studies, it's very successful. And from there on, it's, you know, CF, but not only CF, rare diseases became my life. I came back to Prague in mid-90s. And there I started my clinical work, and we medical geneticists see what it is for patients and their families to undergo the diagnostic odyssey. And we realized, hey, this is not enough. We need to go outside of the clinic. We need to do something on a broader scale. We need to be involved in policies. And then it went like a snowball, and here we are.
Well, Milan, there's a lot of love in the room for you this evening. Lots of correct guesses, actually, at the last minute. Lisa and Daria, Matt, Shirley, all guessed that you had won. Ursula says, Milan, with lots of ends. Milan, we love you.
Hello, everybody.
Turkle says, congratulations, Milan. You're an inspiration for all of us. Avril, that's lovely. She says, congratulations, Milan Maciek. You have always been such an important advocate over many years, and we appreciate your time, energy, and support. So with everything that you've done in the rare disease area, what has been the most meaningful for you?
Well, on the international level, and again, it was serendipity. I was involved in the broader group of highly enthusiastic colleagues, you know, who were involved in the ratification of the EU Council recommendation in 2009 under the Czech EU Council presidency. Later, and this is what I also value. I became the president of the European Society of Human Genetics, and under my auspices, the medical genetics was recognized as an EU-wide specialty. And really, we medical geneticists are at the core of diagnosing, we are at the forefront of diagnosing rare disease cases. So it really gave this important specialty a major boost. And on the national front, I have to say, you know, again, it's a lot of work, but we succeeded in national action plans and a 10-year strategy. But what I appreciate most is that we developed a truly, I would say, interdisciplinary team when we work all together. And the most humbling experience for us as physicians is to start working with patients, because they show us how little we know, and they are the true experts. And it's not a phrase, it's often said as a cliche, but they are the true experts in their diseases, and they are inspirational. There are so many Liz Nashes among them. So this is what I value most.
I love your humility. You're being very humble, but everybody else is really praising you. We've got Enrique saying, wow, Milan, you're the best. Proud of having an opportunity of meeting you and learning from you. An outstanding person as professional and as a person. We're seconding that here. Matt says, fantastic, Milan, super. Michael says, wow, great work, Milan, well deserved. Finally, Milan, just if I could ask you, I mean, you've achieved so much. Is there anything left for you to think about for the future?
Of course, you never end. And you should always think of the future. Things which happened are done, and we should continue. And in fact, it seems like that I optimized my final remarks with Avril, but today I read in the paper that some people realize what is the cryptic message on the parachute of the Martian module, which was just kind of descending. And it says, "Dare mighty things." And I said, wow, yeah, this is exactly what we need to do. And indeed, we can do mighty things for people with rare diseases when we continue working together. And I have to say that we are really working very hard with our patient representatives and with our National Alliance to work with our policymakers and to make the French, Czech, and Swedish trio presidency a success. And hopefully we will have a new policy framework which will move the field forward. We have reference networks, all was said today. So we have reference networks, we have a strong basis. And I would paraphrase what Jan LeCun says, that we have the house, it's fitted, but we need to populate it, and we need to make it live and living. And this is the next challenge, which is in front of us.
Well, we thank you very much for your mighty work. Milan Marcek, congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award. And so now to the final award of the night, the EURORDIS Photo Award. This year, despite the challenging restrictions due to the pandemic, we received hundreds of high-quality photos from all over the world, and I'm delighted now to announce this year's winners as decided by the public vote. Another one of my golden envelopes has appeared. So in third place, winning a portable projector is Diana Julius Dottir with Living with a Rare Disease. Wow, what a great picture. In second place and winning a drone kit is Kim Bahadur Lami Chani. Wow. Stories, these pictures tell a story, don't they? And the winning photo, I can now reveal, winning a GoPro Hero 9 Black, I'm sure that's an amazing bit of kit, is Pavel Kolkovsky with Together Forever. Oh gosh, look at that picture. Congratulations. And that is, if you get a chance to look at the gallery and all the pictures every year, that is such a highlight for me. We've got some messages, so I'm just going to quickly go to those. Victoria is saying, Milan, thank you for always being such a support and voice of expertise in the rare disease community. And on top of this, for being such a lovely person. This is what we need, is that lovely humanity amongst our professionals. It really makes all the difference. Congratulations to this year's 3 finalists. There were so many lovely images and touching stories. I've just said all that, haven't I? And Sharon, thank you for sharing your personal moments with us. So do we have a final total? Can I get that? I tell you what, I'm going to read on, and then you can tell me what the final total of our donations has been this evening. That concludes the EURORDIS Black Pearl Awards ceremony 2021. Congratulations once again to all the worthy recipients tonight. I'm sure you'll agree that their stories inspire positive change and leadership. It's been a pleasure showcasing their achievements with an even broader online community. I've absolutely loved being able to read your messages this evening. We'd like to thank our distinguished honorary patrons, also Andeline, our Black Pearl Committee Chair, along with our committee members, lead corporate donors and outreach partners that are showing on the screen now. Thank you so much. And of course, everyone who has joined and donated this evening. Don't forget, if you've been engrossed in the awards ceremony tonight, it's never too late to donate. We've got a little phrase going there, never too late to donate. You can continue to give on the platform here. Now, I'm trying to remember what we were at last time. We were about 12,000, is that right? 16? 16,000 we were up. Well, that's amazing. Just keep giving and we'll keep totaling it up. Thank you for helping us to celebrate this wonderful community. It's been fantastic sharing this moment with you. I've enjoyed seeing all the stuff that's been happening on social media, and keep putting your pictures up as well. Remember to use those frames. Now, we can also stay connected after the ceremony. We've got just a little bit of time and actually see one another's faces, and we can meet the awardees in a more social setting via our networking tool, Rally. Now that's going to remain open for another hour. You can join the networking by clicking on the link just sent in the general chat below. So check the general chat, you'll see the link, and we can continue to network. Thank you for filling my home with inspiration and a great community spirit. I have been in very, very good company. Take care and stay safe. Bye.